My name is Paul Darcy. I'm an artist living in Skerries for the last 20 odd years. I work in both painting and sculpting. Attended two colleges, NCAD and DCAD, the one in Dunleary. I dropped out of both of them and went to India for 9 months or so, and then came back, and then I was studying in the National Gallery of Ireland under Raymond Keaveney. He let me into all the rooms to copy paintings essentially. I've always been a painter from child. Even in school, that's all I done. In fact, I suppose I was a remedial kid in some aspects, particularly at the start, because I was drawing it all the time. Never thought of anything else. So I've always done it. It's just been in my nature. There's no history in the family of it as such. And so it's just something I've always done. In me, it's just innate. It's like some people kicking a ball around. It's just something I've always done. I don't exactly know why I do it. I just do it because I need to do it. And I enjoy doing it. It gives me reward, both on a spiritual level, mainly on a spiritual level, and also it allows me to put my thoughts down, and that's essentially it. Satisfaction in doing it, the finishing of it. I've been often asked, how can you sell a work or get, pass the work on? And for me, it doesn't matter once it's finished, which is a kind of an unusual thing, but the process is, for me, the most important thing. Doing the work is what it's about. I think creativity is an instinct within all of us. Whether how you apply it may be a different thing. People think that the arts is creativity. It can be applied across the board to sports, to business, or to anything. Creativity is innate in us. It's just people seem to think that artists are the creative. They are, but there are other fields that have creativity as well in them. I mean, IT technology is the same thing. People have to imagine first. It's the great thing about human beings, that we are creative. There's different levels of creativity. So there are people that they wake up and they're thinking about different ideas, thinking outside the box. And then there are people that maybe will have 2 ideas in a year. So it's just different levels of creativity. So to say if you're born with it, I say there are people that are more creative and people that are less creative, but essentially we're all creative. Councils are they're the ones that channel the opportunities for creativity. So if you have, from the top down, people thinking about engaging communities in creativity, that's the way to do it. Then you have workshops, you have festivals, you have art classes, and then you have groups that just do it off their own bat. So I'd be involved in an awful lot of creative groups just because I'm drawn to them. It's like people going to football matches. I go to art classes or creative groups. You just get drawn to them. Dublin Plein Festival is something that has happened in the last couple of years, and the reason it happened was because there essentially was a demand for it. We have some painting groups around here from Drogheda down all over the country, but essentially there was no festival for Dublin, and I was cajoled into doing it. That's what happened. Some lad said to me, "Look, we need one," and I said, "Well, why don't you do it?" And he said, "Well, why don't you do it?" And that's the way it happened. And then I went to council, and council said, "Yeah, that's a brilliant idea," and it's going to get bigger and bigger really fast. Projects that I enjoy doing are the ones that I actually get to finish, and then once they're done, I can move on from them. I've sculpted quite a bit over the last few years, and so I've done the Rush Millbank Theatre. I've done the sculpture for that when I came back from New Zealand, and then after that, over the years I've had more sculptures that have come my way. So I have the Embracing Seals in Skerries, outside Florville beside the Carnegie Library, and then recently I've just finished the Thomas Ashe sculpture in limestone in Lusk. That was a very big project. It commemorated the 100th anniversary of Thomas Ashe. An old teacher said to me once that it's 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. For creativity to actually blossom, that's precisely what it is.